This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. Minister of Tourism and Aviation, Dionisio de Aguilar, insisting that it will take some time for the Bahamian tourism industry to get back on its feet. He was responding to questions from reporters surrounding the central bank's monthly economic and financial development report, which states that the total foreign arrivals fell by nearly 80% in March.
So the good news is that the number of foreign visitor arrivals is increasing every month. So it's heading in the right direction. The bad news is that it's still 20, 30, 40% of what it used to be. So I think it's always important to put it in perspective. We are nowhere near our 2019 numbers, and that's understandable. We're still in the throes of this pandemic, and it's going to take time as persons get vaccinated and feel safe enough to travel for them to think about a holiday. But I can tell you that the numbers are ever increasing, and persons are obviously interested in a warm weather destination, and they're choosing the Bahamas in ever increasing numbers. But it's going to take some time for us to get back to where we used to be. But the good news is that it's heading in the right direction.
Now, last month, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis announced that the Bahamas will allow fully vaccinated travelers to bypass the RT-PCR testing requirement. Asked if there's been an uptick in people interested in traveling to the Bahamas after this announcement, Minister de Aguilar says this.
If I look at the health visa as an indicator and the number of applications that we're receiving every day, that number is ever increasing. So while it's too early to tell, I mean, we're only on day 4, I think the indication is that more and more people are applying for a health visa based on the fact that they're vaccinated. What is interesting is people, once they've gotten vaccinated, want to get ahead of the decision to travel or not to travel to the Bahamas, and they're making applications now for a health visa months in advance, and that's beginning to add traffic to the application process.
The minister also touched on fake vaccination cards.
The difficulty is that certainly in the United States, where over 90% of our foreign visitors originate, persons are getting vaccinated in many different areas, many different municipalities, many different states, and all of them have a mechanism by which to report that you have been vaccinated. So that obviously is creating some difficulties. We're trying to work through that and what would be the best solution. I guess the world is looking at this, everybody's looking at this, and there's been talk of a COVID passport and some sort of electronic means. We're obviously grappling with this issue. But for the time being, we think that the records that people are presenting are genuine, and we're just developing a mechanism on how best to validate them.
Minister de Aguilar contends that while the tourism industry is not there yet, it will happen as long as we are determined to be vaccinated. 26 cases of COVID-19 reported in country for Monday, May 3rd. 19 cases on New Providence, 1 with a history of travel, 4 confirmed on Grand Bahama, and 1 case each on the Berry Islands, Exuma, and Andros. These 26 cases push the national count to 10,602. 669 cases are active, 51 of them are hospitalized, 47 moderately ill, and 4 in the intensive care unit. Meantime, health officials are also reporting an unfortunate death in that of a 92-year-old male of Long Island who died on Sunday, May 2nd. His death pushes the death toll to 211. Some 88,187 tests were completed on Monday, and with 72 recovered cases tally at 9,651. The Financial Crimes Investigations Branch of the Royal Bahamas Police Force announces it's recently seen an increase in counterfeit currency reports, particularly on the island of Eleuthera in the Harbor Island area. In a statement released this afternoon, Chief Superintendent Matthew Edgecombe says a number of Bahamian $50 and $20 notes were recently seized on that island. However, no arrests have been made. The branch's investigation notes that fraudsters use various techniques to generate counterfeit notes, and they're creative in finding ways to pass them off on unsuspecting victims or business establishments. Chief Superintendent Edgecombe reminds the general public that it is an offense to be in possession of counterfeit currency, which can result in a prison term for up to 5 years. Now, if you become aware of the whereabouts of any counterfeit currency, you're asked to please contact the nearest police station to have the same turned over. The police are also encouraging persons to invest in counterfeit detection devices to assist them in identifying these fraudulent banknotes to prevent losses to them or their businesses. The Bahamas Press Club 2014 tipping their hats to the government following the announcement of the appointment of the Freedom of Information Commissioner and a Deputy Commissioner. The world observed World Press Freedom Day on Monday, and the Bahamas saw an historic occasion when retired Justice Keith Thompson was appointed as the Commissioner and retired Assistant Director of Legal Affairs Shane Miller was appointed as Deputy to head the Freedom of Information Office. The Bahamas Press Club says the appointments, which bring the Freedom of Information Act closer to becoming law, is a progressive step towards the strengthening of democracy, which members of the media are bound to uphold. World Press Freedom Day was observed under the theme Information as a Public Good. It recognizes and addresses people and conditions in every sphere across the globe, especially in these pandemic times. On Monday, Justice Thompson received his instruments of appointment from the Governor General. The Freedom of Information Office will be located on the top floor of the Yandy Building, University Drive. You're watching Jcn News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.